2-1. Live on both sections.
Shalom, the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, at the Commanding GEN.YAHANNA. Today's topic is when a person strives for mastery, the scripture says he is not crowned unless he strives lawfully. Everybody wants, every nation.
Also, I put the title on there, Black Israelite history, too. Black Israelite history.
Now, we have a history, of people striving lawfully and people striving unlawfully. There's two ways. And every reason to gain power is not for a good, genuine reason. You have people, certain reasons. And what happens is a lot of the times what ends up happening is the Lord ends up destroying some people. The things that you pride yourself on, the Lord can use those same things to destroy you. Like, say, for instance, look at Samson. Samson's strength. What happened? In the end, it ended up destroying him. Let's see, because for one thing, what did he do? He started going for the harlots and all of that. I mean, his striving for mastery was not unlawful, because he was supposed to want to be a judge over his people, because, he was righteous in a lot of ways, but he had certain, flaws about him and everything, and the harlots and everything being one of them. And what does this do? This puts you in love with another nation. And when you end up falling in love with their women, you actually are falling in love with them. But it's a different dynamic for us, because if a woman of another nation, so-called, falls in love with us, she doesn't fall in love with people. We still fall in love with hers.
Right.
So that's the reason why the Most High wants us not dealing with other nations like that. And he doesn't want us using their tactics to unlawfully, to go to strive unlawfully when we should be striving for mastery lawfully. And there's another important thing too. We don't never want to hate the brothers that we striving against. Actually, we're not even supposed to be striving against each other like that. This brother totally, sincerely believes that, that he will be a better, ruler, because he believes that he's merciful and compassionate. Because without those characteristics, what are you doing striving for mastery without those? You have to be, and also you have to be real humble, because there's a scripture that says, with the more honor that you get, the more humility you're supposed to have. But if you get honor and then you just get prideful along with that honor, it's a chance that it might not work out for you so good in the end, if you don't repent of that. I'm going to go to the first scripture, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5. Are you looking for the questions? Yeah.
I'm looking at people asking questions. I got the scripture you want me to.
I can pull is there any questions on it? Because I can answer the questions for them.
Nah, not yet. You can tell the people to type in their questions. I already typed it. Tell them to have their questions ready.
Everybody have your questions ready. Type in your questions. We're ready to answer them. Second Timothy. I went first. Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 5. And if a man also strive for masteries, regardless of what it is, Joel, if you believe that you're, just like you had all the men, that was with King David and King Solomon, the men that had these responsibilities, the man that had that responsibility, regardless of what it is, he's striving for mastery over that. He's also striving for mastery over people. It's mastery over the people, because he believes that he can take care of the sheep good. That's the reason why The Most High chose King David. The Most High chose King David because King David was the sheep, the man that took care of the sheep. He loved them and cared for them. He was compassionate with them. You know, he always made sure that he understood the well-being of the sheep. If one had a cracked hoof or something, he knew about it. And he was willing, not only did he know about it, but he was willing to go out and do something about that to take care of that problem. He could be good and strong. He also understood things like, you know, you have different kind of sheep. You have the rams, and then you have the regular sheep, and then you have like the little baby, you know, little lambs and stuff like that. They don't eat the same kind of grass. The rams, they can eat the harder, tougher grass. While the sheep, their grass has to be more on the tender side. And the little lambs, they got to have the tenderest grass, you know, until they grow, you know, up into, you know, full maturity. And if any man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. He has to strive with what? The law, statutes, and commandments, and you're given the commandment to love your neighbor as you love yourself.
That's right.
Don't do anything to them that you would not want done to you. That's how you strive. That's how you start to learn how to strive lawfully. You don't do things, you know, that's going to do. One thing that you certainly don't want to do is try and injure that man, you know, in the race. You don't want to do that. Could you imagine, like, if you're in a race, you know, when they have like the Benjamite races, what is like the ones that they be dominating real tough, the 400 meter or something like that?
Right.
And you crack that man's leg so that he can't run as fast as you, and you win the race on that. What are the judges going to do when it all boils down to it? The judges are probably going to kick you out of the sport, just like what they did with I can't think of it, Tanya Hardin back in the day when she was in ice skating against that girl. I can't think of her name back in the day, and they were the two top ice skaters. What did she do? She hit her in the leg with a stick because she figured somehow that girl just as possibly might beat her. So she cracked her in the leg with a stick so that she would not win. And what ended up happening to her? She was known, that stain. Okay.
I was gonna say, after you're done with that, can you break down what if you're after slavery and you're competing for a position to get more money, but there's also a whole bunch of other Israelites competing for that position to get a whole bunch of money?
Okay, as the scripture also says that in honor, preferring one another. Like we're supposed to, you know, and it also says everyone seek another one's wealth. That don't mean seek to take his wealth. That means you want him to be, you know, well off. Because when you operate as a nation like that, when you're operating as a nation that's based on the commandments and all of that, you can afford to see your brother. You will help him to get up. You know.
What if he's not in the truth and you are, and you want to bring them money for the truth and he don't?
Well, if he's not in the truth, well, here's the thing with that. We still gotta strive lawfully. We gotta strive lawfully against the heathen. Even against the heathen, we still gotta strive lawfully. You know, we can't, you know, sit there and steal something that the dude's equipment, you know, or something like that, or seek to covet his position and get ready to do injurious stuff to him, you know, so that we get his position. That's what the world does right there. And we are not a people that can operate off the system of the world and actually prosper. We can get up over, you know, we might get up for a little while. But then that crash coming down is going to be a hard one. And a lot of time it breaks the bones. I don't mean literally, but I mean, you know, metaphorically, it breaks the bones. Because see, when black people lose a position or something and come crashing down, the same standard for white people is not the same as us. Because you can have white people that embezzle a company and get all this money and steal from the company, and they'll hire them in another company. And sometimes it'll be the same company, just a different location. But we get caught with something like that, what happens to us? We will never get another job inside that field again. That's why we're more honest on jobs. Even when we're in the world, we're more honest when it, on jobs and other people, even though we still do a lot of wicked stuff. We even have to strive against the heathens lawfully. What is the example of that? Mordecai and Haman. Mordecai never did anything to injure Haman, ever. And he gave Haman the honor, and all of that. He didn't go to the king and talk about the king, talk about Haman like a dog to the king, because that stuff flips back on people. Because the king, if he's a wise king, he's sitting there thinking, well, how he just came at him to he's trying to make him look bad in my eyes. So I wonder what other kingdom is he dealing with to make me look bad in their eyes.
There's two questions on.
Cut.
One of them says, one is on topic, one is off. One on topic first.
Cut.
Shalom, Lord in Christ, true by the czar. So if an Israelite that's not in the truth considered a heathen?
No. He's still an Israelite. And like I said before, you don't do unlawful things to him, because how we going to persuade and win him into the truth, talk about the law, statutes, and commandments, but yet we're not even keeping it with him. Here's the thing. The scriptures also talk about not being a respecter of persons. It says give honor to whom honor is due, but the scripture tells us not to be a respecter of persons. If he loses his wallet, you're supposed to treat him the same way as you treat a general that lost his wallet. What do? You go and you give it back to him. You see what I'm saying? And that makes the truth look good. And now he's sitting there thinking, well, because Christians are money grubbing, money grubbing bastards, and they will steal your wallet. They're not going to give your wallet back to you if you dropped it. But I.S.U.P.K man, on the other hand, it doesn't matter how much money is inside that wallet. We knew who dropped that wallet. We're going to get that wallet back to him, regardless of whether he's a brother in the truth, he's a brother in the world, he's a purple punk, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. We're going to give it back to him. And if we striving up against him, on a job for a position or whatever the case is, we're going to strive lawfully. Because what we're going to do is we're going to show in character how good we are above everyone else, just like what Joseph did. Joseph strived for mastery. He's one of the most perfect examples of that, who strived for mastery lawfully. You don't see anywhere, if that's the case, why didn't he just go ahead and just bang Potiphar's wife, right? You know what I'm saying? Because Potiphar's wife, of course, because the Egyptians was all in feminism. They were feminists. And women held high positions inside ancient Egypt, just like in this Egypt today. So he's probably, if he was a carnal brother, he would have sought to, get it in real good with her. You know what I'm saying? And try, try and brush up with her and everything, because he understands that he understands that she controls Potiphar, and Potiphar has the ear of Pharaoh. Now, why didn't he strive that way then? Right? Why didn't he strive for mastery that way? It's all about getting power, right? Oh, it's not all about getting power. Because the scriptures say promotion comes not from the east or the west, but come from the Lord. And that's what the Bible say. Any more questions, Cap?
What do you say to someone, Brandon Wilcox, what do you say to someone who constantly go back and forth with himself on if he is 1/3 or not? I told him I'm striving for the 144 and hoping to fall amongst the 1/3.
Okay. What he got to do is he got to make sure that he's one of the 1/3. The Bible says have your callings and make your calls and elections sure. That's how he makes sure that he's in the 1/3.
Right.
Anything else, Cap?
That's it on questions. There's a couple comments.
Cut.
You want the comments?
Cut. Making things interesting.
Just a Makbab said, hence police officers that murder black people and then go work for another police department.
Yes. just like them. And that's what is that? And that's a good example of striving for mastery unlawfully, because they strive for mastery by beating down black people, the oppressed, the people that's already oppressed. Now just imagine how much now, but at the same time, they're our enemies, right? Now just imagine if somebody's your brother and he's striving against you in like manner. Maybe he's not beating you behind. He's just covetous as hell. And finding a slick way, just like what they do in corporate America or in the dope game, to try and, and boot you out. But sometimes, to be honest with you, those are two of the worst kind of niggas. I'm just keeping it real, All right. That's any more comments, Cap?
Wow.
Okay. All right. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. Second Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. But we dare not make ourselves of the number or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they, measuring themselves by themselves and comparing themselves among themselves, are not wise. That is not a wise thing to do. To compare yourself among your brethren and stuff like that, regardless of what you think about this brother personally, and we have a history of this. We have a history of this because who did they do this to? They did this to Moses. They did it to Christ. They did it to any leader among us. They did this stuff to, this. We have a history of this, a bad history of it. That's one of the reasons why our councils and stuff that we have among one another, that's one of the reasons why they don't work. Our what would not council? I'm not gonna say council. What is the not ideas, but when we all sit around like the round table. Can't think of the word.
Like people in the world.
Right. When we have our they call them corporate meetings and stuff, in in the corporate world. Just our meetings when we're all supposed to be, sharing ideas, things like that, looking at the pros and the cons of things. We can't stand, like, if we come with an idea and a brother says, wait a minute, that might not be such a good idea because of such and such and such, right? Instead of the brother sitting back and thinking, okay, you could be right on that. He got his mind made up that he wants that idea. And then he responds, he gets angry with you because you said something against his idea. And actually, that's being feminine. Because that's what women do. Women do that. Women will sit there, how do I distress? What you forced to say? You forced to say, babe, you might not want to wear that. You might not want to wear that right there because of, such and such. You always shooting down what I do. That's the way women act. And that's how you can tell a lot of brothers is raised in in homes with single mothers. Because we do stuff like that. And what we end up do? We ended up hating that brother. That's what ends up happening. He always shoot down my ideas. He always, he always this and that. That's what we do. And then what does he do? He spreads this among everybody else. So now everybody else, he sowed those seeds, and everybody else is looking at that brother, that's like, he's just, and then labeling you with negative, just like what the women do. They go, that's just negative. That's negative. Everything's negative and positive. That's just negative. When actually what you're really doing is looking at the pros and cons to something and seeing if this is the wisest way to go. But when you got these brothers that come from these single parent homes with a mother, and the mother's like this damn shapeshifter because she got characteristics of a man, but then she's a woman too. You know what I'm saying? And it confuses the child.
So what should a brother do, if the person he rolling with got an idea, but he don't like their idea?
Okay, for one thing, you got to find out why you don't like the idea. You got to present why you don't like it and see if that's something that will actually be beneficial. If you and this person a team, y'all got to see if that's been actually beneficial. If his idea is a good idea. I mean, look at Kings. We got to understand Kings. I mean, we do all the watching of Games of Thrones and all of that stuff, and still don't know how kingship and stuff like that work. Kings has counselors too. And you think every counselor likes the idea of the king? No, they don't. And he doesn't like all of their ideas. But it's a reason for not liking them, not because he doesn't like the person.
Right.
We got to be men out here. We can't be children. We can't be kids out here. We got to be men. We can't afford to be kids. Yeah, just like what did the Godfather say? When women and children can afford to be careless, but not men. Remember Vito? I watched the Godfather and stuff like that, but that quote he said was true. Women and children can afford to be careless, but not men. And men, we have to listen to one another, because I mean, how you gonna be a ruler when you can't even take an opposing idea or an opposing criticism or something like that? But you're gonna be a damn ruler? You're gonna be over something? Really? Hate to see the destruction that comes from up under what you are dealing with. What you doing? Go ahead.
Another question. So what if you think the idea will work, but the other person doesn't think the idea will work? How do you solve that problem?
Well, for one thing, you got to tell him why the idea won't work. And he has to come with why he thinks it does work. And what y'all do, y'all judge these things together and see, would that be the good way to go for the greater good? And if the man that didn't like it at first is now convinced, based on, the greater good, then that idea should go forth. It should go. But what it is, a lot of times we mingle envy and, this and that. The brother can, he has a gift in a certain area, or he has, and we'll judge things based on that. And what we'll end up doing when we sitting at the hypothetical round table or whatever, we'll purge that brother out. So now his gift is not there. That's like a body that, just lost a leg, right? Now he's hobbling and hopping. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord will see that, because the Lord will see why you purged him out. And the Lord will send a situation to where that won't be replaced. Now you just be a one-legged nigga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just be a one-legged nigga now, because he's not going to replace you with someone that has the same thing, because what you're going to do, you're going to purge him out too. And the next nigga, you'll purge him out too. That's like a guy with, that lost a leg that don't want another one. He don't want another leg. He want another leg, but hell, what he do? He's going to kick that out too. If the Most High was to do like a miracle and make another leg grow, you know what I'm saying? He don't want that one. He going to kick that thing out too.
Got another question.
Good. Yeah.
What if the person has two good reasons and the other guy has two good reasons? How do you decide then? And they got the same amount of cons too.
Well, here's the thing with that. Hell, why not take both ideas? Merge them into one. And use that for whatever idea it was, you know what I'm saying? And formulate something together, since there's 2 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Formulate something together. You know what I mean? The Most High sent everybody out in twos, right? Not for one to slam the other's idea or for the other one to slam his. I mean, hell, both of them got, good things. They can just put their heads together, and what they can actually do is make a situation, you know what I'm saying, so that they, for the greater good, so that they can prosper in whatever endeavor it is that they're in. It's just that simple. They're a team. Anything else, Cal?
Yeah, somebody did say, Shalom, sir, how can I prove Job was not an Edomite? Somebody else put Job 30 and 30.
Okay, not only Job 30 and 30. You know, you wouldn't want to just go with that. Let me show you how you can prove that Job was not an Edomite. Job went through the curses of Deuteronomy 28. You see what I'm saying? What you want to do is you want to bounce back and forth between Deuteronomy 28 and Job's, time of trouble. That's what you want to do. That's how you prove that he's an Israelite. Because Job went under the curses. The same thing that we harp on to prove that we're Israelites. That's how you prove Job was an Israelite too.
You said Khan.
Job 30 and 30 was just one point because people could argue with that. What do they say? They say, okay, Esau was really a black man. And the people that try and say that use Job 30 and 30 and then go on the fact that, okay, he was in the land of Uz and such, go on, they try and put those two together. And then here's the thing, if you're not skillful in the scriptures like that and not skillful in Job, this is always funny because Job seemed to be like one of the most unread books, you know what I'm saying, in the whole Bible for some reason, but it's like one of the most famous books at the same time, which is a weird dynamic there, But what you want to do, you want to really get into Job and dig into it. And if you have questions or whatever, call an expert. Call the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge to break it down for you. I get in the book of Job. I've been in the book of Job for quite some time. You can call me. It doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? But anything else, Captain?
No question right now.
Come.
He said, sure do, sir.
Good. All right.
Somebody had a question on the breakdown.
Okay.
Breakdown of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 7 through 9.
Okay. Let's go to it. I like these little question things. Lamentations 12. Wait, hold on. Lamentations what?
Chapter 4.
Lamentations chapter 4.
Verse 7 through 9.
Verse 7 through 9. All right. Lamentations chapter 4, verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. All right. So his question was, I already know, how, it's just talking about white people. Have you ever seen a white people?
This is a Edomite slave from Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So he wants, okay. All right. I understand what he wants. Okay. Edomite Slayer, understand this. Now, this is talking, this is not talking literal. Because Nazarite, the Nazarites were known for being what? They were known for being, the pure, when it talks about being white in the Bible, actually is talking about, other than leprosy, because leprosy is whiteness of the skin. But when it talks about somebody being white, just like when it talks about in the Song of Solomon, when it said, my lover is white and ruddy, and the chiefest among men. I wasn't talking about, him being a white dude, or anything like that, or him being, because white skin, according to the Bible, was not looked at as something so great. White skin means you are absent of melanin. You are absent of the thing that the Most High has. The Most High is, in Christ are dark. So why would he look at that? Why would this be looked at as such a great thing, among his people? No, it's actually a curse. Actually, the curse of Cain. But when it comes to men, you know, everything that should be, you know, forwards is backwards. You know, everything that should, you know, I mean, it's like that. Everything is forward, you know, up is down. You know what I'm saying? You know, things like that. You know, down is the good thing, but it's, you know, I mean, all of that stuff. Everything is backwards. Everything is direct opposites. And the world, the earth right now, the world is upside down. And that's why Christ is raising up the prophets to turn it right side up. So in this society, white is good. So when it says her Nazarites were purer than snow, what is this talking about? This is talking about them being morally, you know, the men that they're supposed to be. They were whiter than milk. Now, what is this talking about? They were blameless. That's why, you know, the scriptures talk about the men, they should, Christ said they should walk, the men should walk with me in white. Because they will be spotless. And when they say you walk with him, you're going to be spotless when you walk with him. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Now, think about it. When it talks about them being more ruddy in body than rubies, you look at a ruby, you can't tell how old it is. You don't know whether the ruby's 100 years old or, hell, 100,000 years old. You don't know. It looks the same. What were the Nazarites? They were very well preserved. And what ruddy actually means, ruddy is what we call luster today. Just like the dude, you know, on the S-curl box and the luster silk box and all of that. They put the, you know, pretty dark-skinned dude on there. You know what I'm saying? On all of those old, you know, Jerry curl dudes and stuff like that. You know, that's what ruddiness actually was. It didn't mean you were red or any of that. When has being red been a sign of, you know, something that's good? I mean, if that's the case, you know, everybody would just be trying to just get a sunburn, not a tan, but a burn. You know, if that was looked at as something great. A person is supposed to have the, you know, the melanin in their skin to stop their skin from burning. And the blood showing forth in the skin is the, you know, that's seeing something, because what's on the inside of you is seen outwardly, because everything is actually supposed to be hidden, just like your organs and all of that. When's the last time anybody seen a dude walking down and you saw his heart beating and you saw his, you know what I'm saying, liver and all of that? You know, something's wrong with that damn dude. You know what I'm saying? If you see all that, right? You know, that your skin and all of that stuff is made to cover that stuff up. Right? It's concealed. It's concealed, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, in the Old Testament, people wasn't solid on Christ because he is the life and the life was concealed. You know what I'm saying? People wasn't solid, you know, on, you know, he was revealed in glimpses. But even after that, they was trying to kill him. You know, when he was born, they didn't know who he was, so they just wanted to kill all the male children. You know what I'm saying? Certain things should be concealed. And just like, you know, your blood should be concealed also, in your veins and all of that. All right. Their polishing was of sapphire. Now, when they talk about their polishing, it's through 7, right, Cap?
Yeah, for 7 to 9.
Oh, Salaki, yeah. This is a pretty long little thing.
Somebody else had another question. Said, Salaki, you want it?
Go ahead, Cap.
He said, Salaki, sir, in Revelations 12:4, who is that third part of the stars that was drew out?
All right. Did you want to take that one, Cap?
Yeah, go ahead and pull it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to pull it myself.
Is it Revelation 12:4?
Yep.
Okay. Revelations chapter 12 and verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
All right. This scripture right here is talking about. Let me get up there too.
Okay. You want to get up
there? No, I'll just go. This scripture right here is talking about when you read 12:4, when it says it was the dragon is the white man, is the Edomite, the oppressor. You understand? So when it says he was stood before the woman to give birth, that woman to give birth is the Israelites. And to give birth is to birth the nation of Israel, like us waking up. You understand? Like soon as somebody learns the truth, the white man got all these lies ready for them to devour us. And it's been like that since the beginning. You understand? The white man has had lies and had ways to try to devour us, to stop us from becoming a nation. You understand? So what we at, 12:4?
Go.
So the tail is the tail of the oppressor. The dragon is the oppressor. And it says, drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and they cast them to the earth. That's the Israelites. The Israelites are the stars. You understand? Like it says earlier, there was 12 stars. The great dragon. And there was a woman clothed with the sun and the moon on her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Right. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. The white man, he threw them stars down. Third part of the stars, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and whatever other nation, because a lot of the other tribes came over the waters to America. Right. So the other tribes that was still over there, the white man threw them down when he destroyed Jerusalem. Right. So this is what this is talking about. It's the white man, and he's the dragon. And the stars are the Israelites. A third part of the stars is a piece of the Israelites that he threw down when he destroyed Jerusalem. Because this was right after they destroyed Jerusalem, or around the time it happened. Right.
And think about it, look and doing what was going on during the time of Christ.
Right.
We were brought down up under the Romans. Now think about it for a second. What did we start to do? When you go flashback to Maccabees, what did we do? We made a league with the Romans. And eventually, what did they do? They became rulers over us. That's the tail dragging and throwing a third of the stars down to the ground.
Right.
And next thing you know, what ended up happening was when you see Babylon and Timbuktu, or when you go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 20, you start there, and then you see the fall. You know what I'm saying? You see the total fall of that portion of the stars.
Right. No other questions right now. Mawat just said he's tuning in.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right, now we get back to Corinthians 10 and verse 12. Second Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measure themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise. We ain't supposed to sit there and say, I'm better than that brother. I could do this better than that brother. Sometimes we act like the Lord don't hear us. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord, you can fool brothers. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord, he knows all, the whole intentions behind what the hell's going on. He knows the whole intentions for these things. And sometimes he's not pleased. Because he doesn't look just outwardly on the surface. He's just not looking like that. He sees what's on the inside. And, and brothers, a lot of times that think like that, they're getting ready. They're going to try to break the laws. The only thing they need is approval of someone else, of other people. And you know what happens? The laws go out the window then. Because some people only are looking to be pleased, actually to be pleased by men, to please men. As long as that man is pleased, then they figure they have the right to break laws against whoever they want. And a lot of times, what they'll do, because they're more strategic than what people think, because some people been like this their whole lives. You know, they've been that way their whole lives. They were in whatever, you know, and were like that. And they're doing, you know, they'll do the same tactics because, you know, a lot of times they don't care about the brothers for real. And they don't care about, you know, I mean, what it is it's like a saying, your eyes is bigger than your stomach. They want something a lot of times just because someone else has it. And that's the only reason. And they don't like that person. So they figured, you know, I'm going to try to do what I can to take what I perceive that he has, that he's a steward over. All right. I'll go back into the scripture. Okay, that was it on that. Let me go ahead and drop that. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 15 is the next. Did you want to pull it up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you.
Cut.
5 and 15.
Cut.
Galatians 5 and 15. But if ye
Esau? No, that's not what this is talking about. And then think about it though. Who's being talked to? We got to think about that also. Who's being talked to? These are supposed to be the people that's supposed to be solid in the commandments that he's talking to. Go ahead, Cap.
take heed that ye be not consumed one of another.
He's talking, you know who he's talking to? Males of the truth. That's who he's talking to. He's not talking to people out there in the world. You know, they're not hearing him anyway. Who is he talking to? Go ahead, Cap.
Say, this I say then, walk in the spirit.
Walk in the spirit. What is the spirit? The spirit that we're supposed to be walking in one towards another, just like what I was talking about before, you know, with us, you know what I'm saying, wanting to propel one another and just trying to find, you know, we got to think, you know, the spirit of the Lord causes you, man, how can I make this thing stronger? How can I make him, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to give a prime example of that. GEN.YAHANNA is a prime example of that, you know, that strengthening a brother. You know, can I mention that the scenario, Cap?
Which one?
It's a scenario where it was a brother. I'm not going to say, you know, that when he was getting ready to, you know, because the brother wasn't, you know,
something like a major council incident. We can't bring those up.
Oh, okay.
Unless it was brought up in front of everybody by somebody.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like sometimes Jeremiah might talk about something that happened in the class, then we can talk about it after that since he done already brought it up.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
probably best to use a good history example. You know what I mean? Like an example of history, Black history, Israelite history, or
okay.
like history in America when we did it. You know, like Martin Luther King's movements or something like that.
It's nothing I can really, you know, I can't do nothing with that. You know, I'm just gonna leave off that period. All right. Read that again, Cal.
God, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
And it goes into what the lust of the flesh are, right?
Yeah. Okay. Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh.
They war against one another.
And these are contrary the one to the other.
Right. They're at a battle inside you. They're at a battle, life or death. Are inside, you know, the life or death are battling and fighting with inside you. And you know what? Here's the thing. This is the reason why Jacob and Esau were born.
Right.
Both of them represented different, the two you know, the one thing against the other in Isaac, because you know, it was a teaching now that I heard years ago. They tried to say that Rebecca got pregnant by another man. There was maternal twins because she was having sex with two men at the same time, and you know, because you know, Esau came out way different. They try to say stupid stuff like that, but in reality, those two boys represented the two sides of Isaac inside Isaac that were warned against each other. You know,
right?
That's what that was about. That's what that was. The two sides that were warned. One represented, you know, Isaac's, you know, flesh. The other represented the spirit. Esau represented the flesh. Jacob represented the spirit. And both of these were two sides of Isaac. And that's the battle that every man has to fight. Everyone, but they were the exact representatives of that. And it's always funny because which one did Isaac love first? He loved the flesh until he repented. Then he loved the spirit.
Somebody had a question.
Go ahead.
Emi Slayer 144 said, question, don't have to break it down, but in Esdras, the 12 wings, is that above my pay grade?
Okay, and Ezra's the 12 wings.
That's what he wrote. 12 wings. Is that
okay, I really don't understand what his question is. I really don't understand that question.
I don't need.
All right. That can be postponed for later on. All right. Okay. You can continue with that.
Yeah. And these are contrary the one to the other.
Contrary one to the other.
So that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Right. One is going to dominate the other. Wake up.
But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law.
Now, what does this mean? If you be led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. You know why? Because you're on your way to fulfilling the law, just like what Christ did and the example that he made for you to do it.
Right.
That's why it says you're not under the law. Not being under the law doesn't mean you ain't got to do things in the law. So, I guess you can be gay now, right? No, you can't. You can't be gay.
Right.
Can't eat pork. You know, if read that part again, Cap.
But if you be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law.
That's what it means. You are not under the law, because under the law means being under the judgment of the law. You know, that's what.
Somebody put. Is that the laws of sacrifice? No,
that's not. Okay, when it talks about not under the law, you got to look at all the laws. You know, you don't have to be under the law of thou shalt not, you know what I'm saying, be, don't eat pork. You're not under that. You know why? Because pork is going to be coming into your goddamn mind as a food. So you're not under that. Let's see some more. Sleeping with your neighbor's wife. You're not under that. Because it's something you don't do. You don't graduated past that. You know what I'm saying? No, that's evil, that's wrong, such and such. If you led by the Spirit, it doesn't even come up as a question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't even come up as a question if you led by the Spirit. You know, somebody, you want to sleep with me? Man, you better get out of my goddamn face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not under that. You have nothing to do with that. You moving forward. You know, you got things to do. You don't have, it's like, say for instance, let me try and give an example. The law of not, just accepting heathens into your fold, when the Amalekite came to King David, the King David knew, hey, look, And he asked him a question, you know, and he told him that he brought the head to King Saul. And he said, I'm the son of an Amalekite. Now, King David already knew not to put no goddamn Amalekite inside the, you know, so he wasn't under that because the law says not to make a covenant with them.
Right.
So he wasn't under that. What did he do? And he had him killed. He was very angry. When you start to get angry at evil stuff, that right there starts to show you what it's like to not be under the law. When you get angry at the thought of doing drugs, right? When you used to smoke weed, now you hate weed. You don't hate the people that smoke it, but you hate the whole, you know, the whole witchcraft and all of that of doing it. You're not under that law.
Right.
You're not under that. You hate that thing, you know what I'm saying? And you're not going back to it. So you're not under it. You're not under the judgment that comes behind smoking the weed. That's what it means. Anything else, Cap?
No other questions right now.
Okay. All right. Ephesians 5 and 4.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 4. Neither filthiness nor foolish talking.
Wait, whoa. Now we're going to go in to see what this what this right here is talking about. Go ahead, Cap.
Nor jesting.
What is jesting? Jesting is joking. Jesting, we're not supposed to be doing that on one another. Because, you know, what law is that breaking? You're supposed to love your neighbor as you love yourself. You're not supposed to say things about this brother that you wouldn't want said about you. You know. That jesting, does it say coarse jesting or just jesting?
It just says nor jesting.
Because coarse jesting, I see another, situation where they talk about coarse jesting, but jesting, it's the same thing. What we call joking or jaunting on one another and all of that stuff, because what that stuff does, that starts to split up brotherhood, even though we think it seems innocent, especially if you win a damn joking contest. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But if because what this does, this changes and alters the perception that you have, that the people around you listening to you joke has on people. It alters the perception of them. And what it does, that's one thing that our people got bad. We got that bad. I mean, we got it worse than anybody, and that's one of the damn reasons why we can't come together. We too busy roasting each other. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time, especially, when you do it behind people's back, because the person's not even there to defend himself. And you got all of these people around you, we have a bad history of these things. I mean, this stuff didn't just start, and you know what I'm saying? This stuff was way back then. That's why the Apostle Paul had to say something about it, because we was doing it then. We was doing it all the way back then. You talking about what? Maybe damn near 2,000 years ago. We sit around joking on each other. You know what I'm saying? Saying evil, and it's funny because it always seemed to escalate, and the jokes become, and that's why niggas end up in fights with each other. They end up smoking each other. You'll be surprised at how many dudes blow each other away over a damn joking contest or something like that. It's not about, money or this gang, either this gang and that gang. It could be something as simple as that. Because you done made him look bad in front of everybody. And what is he thinking, because, we have no judges among us to tell this nigga stop, you know what I'm saying? Quit doing that shit. It's like it. We don't have nobody doing that. And this stuff plants seeds. And then, even if it's not that, if people do that on a job and they do that in front of supervisors, that dude, a lot of the time, that's the target of the joke, A lot of the time, he's not going to excel too much in that job. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to excel too much because what this is going to do, this is going to shift everybody's, perception of him. And then they do it to where he don't get many women because, they make him a joke in front of the women and stuff like that, to try to make sure he don't get no vagina. I've been through all this. Look, I'm 44 years old. I'm an OG in the game. I done seen this stuff since I was 13. We can't be doing that stuff. That's why, because what that person's actually trying to do, he's trying to exalt himself. But he believes that he has to do this by destroying everything around him so that he gets exalted. That's what people, people do that in everything that's worldly. They believe that they have to destroy the credibility of certain others to catapult themselves, and that right there is an evil ambition. That's an evil ambition right there. That's not good. You always have the good version of something and the bad version of something, just like you have life and you have death. You have good, you have evil. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have wheat and tares. Sometimes they can seem like the same thing and look like the same thing, but not be the same. Wheat looks like tares, and tares look like wheat. But then when they grow up, then you'll start to see what you do for real. You'll start to see that then. And lo and behold, it's not too late.
Nor jesting, which are not convenient.
It's not convenient. That stuff's not convenient. That's not convenient. Jesting and joking on one another and all of that stuff is that's not some convenient stuff. You can't be brothers while you're doing that. That stuff tears up relationships in the world. And if you're in the truth, you hold a higher standard. We have a history of doing this stuff. Like I was saying, this is one of the reasons why we can't come together to fix a goddamn light bulb. This is historic right here. It was back in my time, and it was back during the Apostle Paul's time too. It was during the time of Jeremiah and them, long before the Apostle Paul and them. It was all the way back then. Because what does the scripture say? It said they ate, they drank, and they rose up to play. That's what the scriptures say. It said they ate, they drank, and they rose up to play. And that play has to do with, oh, nigga, you nigga, you this and that, and that nigga right over there, that nigga, that nigga ain't it, that's what starts to happen. Wake up.
But rather, giving of thanks.
Giving of thanks. Man, I'm thankful that brother's here. That brother, I don't give a damn if you can't think of nothing so that this brother do so great. That one little thing that he do great, man, I'm glad that nigga's here for that. I'm glad he's here to do that.
Right.
I'm so glad. There was one brother here that this brother wasn't good at anything. But one thing that he could do, he could speak Spanish in any dialect. And that brother, what I'm saying, me myself, not to toot my own horn or nothing, but I praise that brother on that one thing that brother could actually do that was good, because what that would do is that would encourage that brother to try and look into doing other things good too, or do the thing that he do even better and master it. But if he's sitting there and what he does good is shoveled and buried in the damn sand, when just looking what he do bad, and everybody's laughing and joking and jesting on the shit, that's not good. The Bible said, certain brothers are feeble. Certain brothers, you have brothers with different talents and stuff like that, but some brothers that's going to come into the truth is feeble, feeble-minded. And what did the Bible say? The Bible say comfort the feeble-minded.
Right.
And you ain't comfortable if you always goddamn cutting him up. Just because you somehow you figure you better than he is. Go ahead, Cap.
Verse 5, Ephesians 5:5. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person.
Whoremonger. Think about that, because I mean that stuff, you know, because what ends up happening with these type of people, they'll end up, let me tell you, they'll end up becoming the one brother, could I in the fake Israelite group, could I say his name? Or
Yeah, my God.
Tahar. You end up becoming that. That's what will eventually end up happening. Eventually, you'll end up becoming Tahar from GMS. That's what will happen. Go ahead, Cap.
Nor covetous man.
Oh, whoa! What did it say? What did it say again?
Nor covetous man.
There it go. What was Tahar?
Covetous man.
Right, because what was he doing? He was backbiting General Lahab, joking on General Lahab, getting a following up under himself, telling, you know, saying all types of evil stuff, which he still do. He still do it to this day. Talking bad about General Lahab. And where he at? This is what happens when you got, you know, I mean, it's great to have a man that's, you know, was a thug in the world. He was this and that, you know, as long as but everything about the whole thug thing, you can't, you know, you in here to, you in the truth to change, but not to, you know, to not leave off your manliness or nothing like that, you know, but you're in here to change and to sharpen tools and everything that you had when you was there, not to just operate on the same damn system as when you was out there banging, selling dope. Not operating on the same thing. But that's what that you end up becoming. Go ahead, Cap.
Who is an idolater?
An idol worshiper, because what does he see? He sees the white man as something great when it all really boils down to it. He sees the white man as something great. And what does he do also? He get up under the woman who is the white man's lieutenant. Right. You know, and he becomes just like any Christian. You know, he becomes just like any Christian dude. Eventually, he end up becoming, and then next thing you know, he's with heathen women too. I mean,
right. Hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of the Most High.
That man ain't got no inheritance. And that's what the Bible say. The Bible say that. Now, back to the scripture that I brought out. If a man doesn't strive lawfully, can we go back to, can we hold that? Can you bring that out one more time, Cap? And then I'm going to bounce back to 2 Timothy 2:5.
What scripture you want?
The one that you at right now.
Oh.
And then we're going to bounce back to that one afterwards.
I'll start from the top. Ephesians 5:5. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of the Most High. Verse 6. Let no man deceive you with vain words.
Words that don't mean nothing. Words that just sound good. Good talk. Very charismatic dude. Good talk. A good talker. Great talker. You go to 2 Timothy 2:5. Yeah.
All right.
We think this stuff just started. We became niggerly just only since we got off the slave ship. No, it happened before that.
All right.
The stuff started to happen before that.
2 Timothy 2:5. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned?
Wait a minute. So it said that those type of man would have no part in the kingdom of God, right? And then this says, go ahead, Cap.
And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned.
It said he's not crowned.
There's more to it too.
But that part right there, you know, somebody needs to look at that. He is not crowned,
except he strive lawfully.
If he ain't striving lawfully, guess what? He's not going to be crowned. So bounce it off what the captain was just bringing down. that these type of persons should not have no part in the kingdom of the Lord. What is that saying? He ain't gonna get no crown. That's what it's saying. That's what the Bible says. You know, anybody got any battle, want to battle that or whatever? Bring that. That's what the Bible say. Okay, Cap.
Verse 6. The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits.
Wait a minute. It said the husbandman that laboreth. The man has been tilling this thing. He didn't, he got this. He's over this responsibility, and he's been tilling it. He's been doing, he should be the partaker of the first fruits. Not some other goddamn man just coming out the goddamn blue and trying to knock him off his square, and then he would take all the fruits. That's bullshit. Okay.
Verse 7. Consider what I say, and the Most High give thee understanding in all things.
Right. Apostle Paul said, consider what he says. Means taking what he say into, put that in your brain, ponder over, think about it, and the Most High give you understanding concerning that. Now, let's go to Proverbs 31, 3 and 31, Cap.
Proverbs 3 and 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy not the oppressor, because the oppressor's tactics are, are wicked. Because he does not strive lawfully for his. When does a white man ever strive lawfully? And if you imitate him, but then, act like you got this, like you just got this ambition, this foolish ambition, and you looking at that ambition just because you ambitious, you think you're right. You know what I'm saying? Guess who else was out ambitious? Al Capone. He was ambitious too. All the old gangsters and all the drug dealers, they were all ambitious too. They were all ambitious, but were they striving lawfully? No. They were murdering one another. They were murdering their own, people inside their own organization. Just to get some gain. Hell, as a matter of fact, Al Capone, went against some dude that was in Manhattan, I think it was, and somehow he thought that guy, the dude was just supposed to just, eventually let him take his stuff. He ran all the gangsters out of Manhattan. He ran them out. Can I sit there, they were supposed to have a code. You know what I'm saying? They were supposed to have some type of code or something like that, and they broke it. But then they didn't know what the hell they were going up against. They thought that they were going against, somebody that they could, all of them could, maybe team up together. Man, that guy made sure, and he told all of them, don't bring your ass back to Manhattan. And they respected that. They respected his mind. You know what I'm saying? But they are in a damn fight over, not striving lawfully with one another, breaking rules. They ain't give a damn about none of that. If you ain't got rules, what the hell you got? You ain't got. And you're going to do just like everybody else. And you're going to, whatever it is that you're trying to form up, it's going to fall just like everything else. Wake up.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Don't choose any of his ways. His ways is to go in, and try and take something from one of his brethren. You know what I'm saying? Other white people. They do this stuff with each other. They trying to always take over something that some white person got, As a matter of fact, if they never formed like the European Union, what the hell would they be doing? If they never formed the European Union and stuff like that, that had rules, if the mafia never formed the damn, what did they call it, the commission or whatever the hell it was, under the Lucky Luciano and them, they would have still been banging on each other. And they would have murdered the hell out of each other just like what they was doing before, and it would have got even worse. And everything that they built would have been to shit. You got to have rules. And you got to obey those rules, because you start becoming lax in your rules, shit, you're done.
Right.
You're going to fall apart. And that's that. And then that shame is going to be known globally. It's not going to be something that's going to be, hell, the shame of the goddamn mafia and all of that stuff is still played to this damn day. My Lucky Luciano and them lived in the 20s. When they fell apart, that stuff's still talked about today in 2019.
Somebody put as a comment, Frank Lucas.
Yes. He started to get unraveled. Yeah, he got unraveled. Frank Lucas got unraveled. And when he up under Bumpy Johnson, he broke the rules. And a lot of times in the mobs and stuff like that, they was telling people don't get into drugs because they knew drugs was going to start to destroy them, even though they would start to make a lot of money faster. You know what I'm saying? It was going to destroy them. It was going to stand them on a damn speedball. Okay.
Verse 32. For the froward is abomination to the Most High.
That type of man is an abomination to the Most High. Go ahead.
But his secret is with the righteous.
His secret is with the righteous. Go ahead. Any more on that?
The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked.
Right. Somebody of wicked devices, the curse is there. You can sit there and have all this ambition to do this and that. It's like, what was it? John Gotti. He had all of this ambition. Next thing you know, his son got hit by a damn car. You know what I'm saying? And killed. What would have been hit like his heir. Something like that. We can't envy the oppressor in what he do. You can take certain principles, but you have to relate that stuff. You have to, be lawful, brotherly, and stuff like that with it. Your stuff is to, if your competitor is not each other, it's the enemies, it's the people, the other nations.
Right.
You can't just damn, you not trying to, bust your damn brother apart and everything. But how the hell you gonna stand? You gonna be on some dumb shit. You ain't gonna stand. And then, by the time you wake up and realize what the hell's going on, it's too damn late. Another thing too, not only do that we have, but we have our women, and our women envy the oppressor. And what it is, that's why we always have to keep our women in solid control, because her mind is gonna drift towards that. Next thing you know, she's putting her party into trying to destroy the brotherhood. Shit, sometimes she strike first.
Right.
Wake up.
But he blesseth the habitation of the just.
Let's drop that. Let's go to Isaiah 37 and 38.
Isaiah chapter 37, verse 38. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, the Adramelech and Sherazar, his sons smote him with the sword.
Oh, look at this. You always got to be wary of your children too. Now, this guy was not an Israelite, but still, hell, we hate our fathers. You know what I'm saying? Black men and women hate our fathers. And what did his sons do to him? They smoked him. Because they figured, I can rule better than my father. The Lord is not with that. The Lord is not with that. Could you imagine if King David actually moved against King Saul to try and have him overthrown out of the kingdom? Guess who the Lord would have been angry with? He'd have been angry with King David for that. King David did whatever he could to make sure that King Saul's kingdom was running good. That's what he did. And that's how you end up blameless before the Lord. Could you imagine if Joseph tried to overthrow Pharaoh and try to get, take Egypt for himself, right? Try to sabotage Egypt so that Pharaoh gets off the throne. Guess who the Lord would have been angry with? He'd have been angry with Joseph, and the Lord might have would have killed his sons and everything. You know what I'm saying? The Lord don't play that shit. I'm just keeping it real.
What the rest of it?
Come.
Smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia.
They was in the land of the Armenians. They escaped there.
And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead.
Now look at that. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to be aware of your children and everything too. You know, what did they think? Well, I can, just like what King Solomon's son said, my loins should be thicker than he said, my little finger should be thicker than my father's loins. He chastised you with whips. I'm going to chastise you with scorpions. A lot of times too, we pride ourselves on how cruel we can be. We pride ourselves on that. We pride each other. Now, when you start doing that, you're getting ready to produce a dangerous man. You're getting ready to produce a man that treats other men like you wouldn't want to be treated your goddamn self. You can't pride brothers on their cruelty towards other brothers. You can't do that. Regardless of whether that brother's over, you know, he's ranked over, he's higher than him or he's under him or whatever the damn case is. Anything anymore? Yeah.
That's it on that screen.
Okay, Leviticus 19 and 17.
Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou
go ahead,
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
Right. If we see brothers just, treating brothers unbrotherly and stuff like that, whether, in his presence or behind his back, we should damn say something. We should say something. Dude, don't do that. That's not cool. Stop that. That's how we get busted up as a nation. And we have a history of this. That's why the Lord had to say things like this to us. We have a history of this. Because like I was saying before, we ate, we drank, and we rose up to play. But you better not talk about that white man, though. You better not talk about him.
Right.
You better not. You can joke on, other blacks and stuff all damn day long, but you better not joke on him. Now, something to tell you, something's wrong with that.
Right.
Is that it on that, Cap?
Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
You should not bear any grudge against the children of thy people. You got to go to that person. Because what happens is this starts to, and then a lot of people want leadership and everything, when in reality, they just got a grudge against that particular person for real. And they don't believe that they should be able to rule all of this and that. They want to just only be an authority figure over that person. That's that. Because a lot of the times that person might correct them or something like that, and they don't like it. That stuff happens also. It happens in kingdoms. It's always historically happened. It's always happened that way. And they end up developing what they call an evil eye towards that person. And, and they're not really thinking about what it is that they, want to rule. Like, say, for instance, the deal with Absalom, it was the same damn deal. He thought he could disrespect King David. He thought that and then what did he do? He rose up and he had the men of Israel. He had all of Israel seduced. He had all of Israel seduced because he was real charismatic and all of that. And he was willing to do all this underhanded stuff, and everybody looked at him as something great, and then he ended up turning them all against King David. And a time that King David wasn't even aware that this stuff was going on. And he was shocked. And he didn't watch it, because a lot of times we don't watch things because we love the person. You know how they say love is blind? That's the saying too, that love is blind. Because when you love certain people, you don't see certain things. And then when it pops up out of no damn where, you're like, oh, shit. What the hell? Really? Now you hurt? You know what I'm saying? You confused? Now you're sitting there thinking, how did this, what the hell happened? When they had already been, devising and developing things against you, we've historically done things like this to one another. That's why if you strive for mastery, it's got to be for the right reasons. You got to believe that you're trying to benefit the body instead of just trying to be goddamn, goddamn paler or some goddamn body. That's not what you want to do. That's not the reason why you should want to gain something. So you can hurt people. If you're on a job, you shouldn't want to sit there and be the boss just so you can boss people around. People that formerly used to goddamn, advise you or tell you or give you orders or, tell you to do this or that, you want to just be over them. So now you can tell them what to do. You're going to be a goddamn abuser. You're going to be a Führer. Anything else, Scott?
Nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
You're not supposed to bear any grudge, but you got a problem with this dude. You got to settle that problem. There has to be, some thing where y'all settle this thing out. Because if not, things is gonna blow into something else. I'll tell you what'll happen. If y'all don't settle it, you'll be at a certain little situation and somebody blow the hell up, and you wonder what the hell just happened.
Right.
He blew the hell up because he didn't do that. Or it could be a situation too where he actually tried to do that, or whatever the case was, and the person wasn't hearing it, whatever the case, it goes like that too. Okay.
Thou shalt in any wise, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High.
You gotta love him just like you love you. You're like, man, damn. Why am I trying to, do this and all? I'm supposed to be like, trying to, build with this dude and everything, because I would want somebody to do that with me. I would want somebody to, I'm not gonna sit there, and talk about that dude's rib and everything, I think that she's ugly, or I think this and I think that in front of a bunch of goddamn people, or this guy, he's a punk ass nigga, in front of every goddamn body, and in front of, women and all of that who would carry the message just like little birds and heap up a bunch of damn confusion. I'm not going to do that, dude, because I would not want nobody to do that to me. So right. I'm going to stand down on that bullshit, That's part of loving your neighbor as you love yourself. You love you wouldn't want that done to you, so therefore you don't do that to anybody else. And you don't sit there and convince yourself what you do, what you did, what you doing and everything. Oh no, see, if this is what we, this is what we do. And if you don't, if you somebody that can't take that, then maybe you shouldn't be around if you can't take all of that. No, bullshit, nigga. Obviously you can't take all of that. You goddamn self. But you figure somebody else, you should throw that burden on some damn body else. So when the nigga knocks your goddamn eyeball out your damn head, now you know now you know what happened, right? That's what that stuff can lead to. That stuff is splitting up all types of friendships, all types of, hell, splitting up job, people that were supposed to be working together, supposed to be as a team or something. That stuff is split people all the way up and broke people all the way down in the damn twos and ones. And that's why we a bunch of goddamn individuals. That's why black people are a bunch of individuals. And hell, we hate Isupk. We hate Isupk because Isupk got more togetherness than what we do. And that's one of the real reasons why we hate Isupk. I'm just keeping it real. We hate Isupk because Isupk has more oneness than what the hell we got. Isupk is not so quick to do the same stupid stuff that we do. I'm just keeping it all the way real. Anybody got any damn things to say against this? Hey, challenge the view then. That's what we're here for. Hell, we got what? Hell, we got, 25 minutes left. Let's rock. Anything else? Any questions or anything like that?
No question.
Okay.
Just a comment. Somebody say Khan Khan. That's right, sir.
Right. So we got any yes, a lot. Oh, so okay. Any no comments at all other than that?
Nah, just a sister giving a salute.
Okay, cool,
And,
cool.
Trooper Mawak giving a salute.
All right. Proverbs 24:17.
Proverbs 24:17. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth.
Now, what type of enemy is this talking about? Because, we rejoice when the heathen and everything fall. Now there's a difference.
All right.
When your enemy falls, right? Your enemy is talking about that black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. You're supposed to be sorrowful. You're supposed to be sorrowful even if he look like he's falling. You got to do something about that. If you view this brother and you figure this brother, no, he's on the decline and everything in a certain thing, you got to think about how can I restore this dude? Because if you ain't thinking like that, then you ain't operating in the spirit. And a lot of times, if you happy to see his fall, you're part of it. You're part of that fall. You're part of wanting him to fall. You see this dude, he gets knocked down. He loses a promotion and everything. He gets knocked down he's a supervisor or a manager, and he gets knocked right back down to a line worker, and you happy and everything because you think your funk ass is on the incline? Really? Well, you know what? You got to root away, and if the Lord allows you to get up on that incline, you in trouble. Then it'd be better off if you were never, if he was on the damn decline and everything, and you never got up. It'd be better for that than for him to decline and you to go up, because the higher up you are, man, the harder you gonna fall. Hell, he might not have took a great drop, or he might have took, but you, on the other hand, you might just lose your damn job. You know what I'm saying? That's how things happen too. I've seen it. I've seen this a lot. I've seen this. Look, man, I'm an OG, I'm an observant OG. I've been observing things and watching things, my whole life. And I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things, I done seen people brought down, you know what I'm saying? And people, exalted up, and you thinking, how the hell did that happen? People that, I done seen all of that kind of stuff, and I knew the Lord had something to do with all of that stuff. Found that out eventually later, even though these people wasn't even in the truth and they was in the world.
All right.
And I knew that the hand of the Lord was in that somehow. It's the only other conclusion you can come up with. This damn thing seemed like a miracle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, what other conclusion can you come with? We should not can you read that part again, Cal?
Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth.
Never do that. I'm telling you, never do that. Never do that. You know what I'm saying? That's a lesson to certainly learn right there. You do not want your heart to be glad. Your enemy, that black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, when he takes a stumble or something like that, he has a position that you covet, because you're wrong for coveting some shit anyway. And then he fall, get knocked down a couple of notches, and your funky behind is gonna sit there and laugh and gloat. The Lord gonna tear you up, dude. I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. He gonna tear you up. You're supposed to be grieved if he loses, man. You're supposed to be like, man, King David didn't do that. King David lamented over King Saul, and King Saul tried to kill him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He lamented over him. He was sorrowful. Was he happy and clapped his hands that King Saul fell upon his sword and was now not the king anymore? No. You know what I'm saying? He lamented for King Saul and Jonathan. You know, he lamented for both of them. We're supposed to be sorrowful when one another, you know, when something happens to one another and we brought down and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, we supposed to be, you know, we supposed to be like, yeah, we know that was the Lord and everything. But our mind's supposed to be like, man, how the hell, what can I do to restore this brother? What can I do? You know what I'm saying? What can I do? Now you want to learn how to keep the laws, right? You want to learn love, don't you? What did the Apostle Paul say? He said, you know, everything you got is nothing. I'm paraphrasing. Whatever you got is nothing if you ain't got charity. You ain't got no charity. You know what I'm saying? And then here's the thing too, because certain brothers will take certain things that they do that's actually good and use that as, you know, collateral for them to do something evil. And then when you call them on that evil thing, then they say, no, but I did all of this and I did all of that and I do this and I do that. But that whole little thing. Now you get to, but they only doing a lot of that stuff because they want to protect that thing that they're doing that someone is correcting them about. You know, they want to protect it. And what do? They turn to hate that person. It's a scripture for that when it talks about a man, you know, that's you correct a righteous man and he shall love thee, but you know, correct a wicked man and he will turn to hate thee. Hell, you got plenty of you know, bad people that had good things about them that they did. And they were using these good things. They were using them to say, you cannot call me evil because that's the Jezebel spirit. The women do that in the church all the time.
Right.
They do that in the church all the time. I done been in them Christian churches. I done been in the Christian churches. I was in one fake Israelite group, and I seen the same goddamn pattern laid out with all of them. You'll have a woman in there, she can do so much different stuff. She can make clothes. She's multi-talented. Hell, she can preach. You know, she can get on the drums. She can do this and do that. So now, if you take the evil and the wicked thing that she do, what can she say? She say, you know, y'all treat me, you know, wrong and this and that. You know, I plan on leaving, and everybody's like, oh no. Because she can do so much. She done did all of this stuff. And they like, man, if we lose her, we ain't going to have nobody to do this. And we ain't going to have nobody to do that. You know, now it's just like that. That's because these people have no faith. You know what I'm saying? The Lord can replace her with someone else instead of letting this evil woman fester and take over all the damn men and divide men up and put them against one another, make them fight each other, make them do all of that and destroy one another. It's best to go ahead and lose this heifer. And it is not targeted only at women. There's a lot of men that do this. A lot of men that do that. I've been seeing them my whole life too. This is something that and this stuff, like I said, this stuff is not new. It's not nothing that's new to us. It's just something that we plan on not damn dealing with. You know.
2 minutes to 8:45.
Come. Can you go to Job 5 and 12, Cap?
What is it, Job? What?
5 and 12.
Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty.
Whoa. It said he disappoints the devices of the crafty. Is this only exclusive for Esau? No. Because the Most High only made this scripture right here exclusive for Esau, then that means he would allow his people just to be evildoers. And what the Bible say judgment start where at? And it start with the house of the Lord. Okay, Cap?
He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Oh, it said that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. I've seen that before too, where people thought they had such a well-devised plan and everything, and the Lord calls that plan, you know what I'm saying? Now they're confused, and they like, oh damn, what the hell just happened? They don't even know what happened. Wake up.
He taketh the wise in their own craftiness.
He takes the wise and the slick, all of these dudes that think that they just so damn. And he done did it all throughout the scriptures. He done did this all throughout the past. Yeah, he done did it with men that were so great in their skill and their craftiness, like Ahithophel. Ahithophel was known for his counsel, his wise counsel and everything. So when everything went down against King David and everything, he thought that he brought his case before what was it, Adoniah. I think it was Adoniah, King David's one son, the one that was born that was around during the time of King Solomon. He brought his case before him, and he said something that was what he said. Whenever he said something, it looked like as God said it. And that's one of the things about his counsel. But he said something very foolish because King David prayed to confuse his counsel and everything. And he said that, and then his counsel wasn't taken, and every damn thing that he rested himself upon, was done. So what he did was set his house in order and hung himself. You go ahead, Cap.
God. He takes the wise in our own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong.
The counsel of the dude to say, no, this ain't such and such a, when he's in the total goddamn wrong. And he's forward in whatever it is that he's doing. No. Now he's being exposed. And he calls him to go headlong. What ends up happening if somebody go headlong and run into a damn brick wall? And ends up cracking their skull. Precept to that dude Abimelech, who was the son of Gideon, that went forth headlong in his pomp. You know what I'm saying? Right. Thinking, he dealing with the heathen and all of that, thinking that he's, you know what I'm saying? And he broke inside that damn tower, and that damn woman threw that stone and cracked him in his damn skull. And he fell off his horse. Then he realized, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he had to tell one of his men, man, look, fall up on me and say not, so that they won't say a woman. And that thing was ended just that fast.
Right.
So take heed to your spirit. And he had a wicked ambition. He strived for mastery, but did he strive lawfully? No, he strived because he took out his brothers. He took all of his brothers out. His brothers were better than him. He took all of his brothers out just so that he could get the power and get the authority and all of that. And he went on campaigning to take over every goddamn thing. And he broke inside that damn tower and a woman cracked his goddamn head wide open. You know what I'm saying? But this woman could also, to do this to certain, brothers or whoever, could also be your woman. Crack your head wide open. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not literally.
Somebody got a question.
Hold the question just for a second. I got to use that right quick.
Hey, Shalom, we'll get your question in just a second. Where you at? Proverbs and whatnot. And that's a good question. The brother will be back right here quickly to answer your question. Make sure you get ready to head to that California cookout. There's a lecture also in St. Louis, the end of September. So if you're in that St. Louis area in the Midwest, head down to St. Louis for that lecture. The lecture is called More Drugs, the Plague, Not the Plug. You understand? An amazing lecture by Captain DeGargabar out in St. Louis. and he's going to rock it out and show everything about the damn drugs and everything, how it's been destroying our people and the spirit behind the drugs and everything like that. So make sure you pay your tithes and all that as well. They're going to teach you.
Okay.
What you want the question?
Cover cut.
Oh yes, sir. Question was, Slaki, sir, if an Israelite tells you that they are praying against you and your family, is it lawful to pray against them?
Okay, you said they praying against you and your family. Why would they do that? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Why would they even do that? I mean, what do you do? Are you trying to kill them? I mean, do you have a militia that you get ready to send to their house, and you know what I'm saying?
This is yeah, that was young man Brandon.
Okay. No, okay. Now, if that person's, said they pray, if you come in and you a militia or something, you some type of, you know what I'm saying, you get ready to do some harm to them or whatever. Hell, they need to pray against you. If you try to, if the person, I'm not saying you can say, I know you just, asking a question or whatever. But, if you wronging them, then why would you pray against them? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense right there, Whatever it is, you will probably want to right the wrong so that they don't pray against you. Because there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about the woman, harm not the widow woman, unless she cry against thee and the Lord hear her cry. The feeble and the weak and everything cry against you, and you are more powerful than them, and you coming up against them, the Lord can hear their cry against you. And you can be, this super dude all you want to be. But he gonna handle that situation. Straight up. The Lord take care of, a lot of times the Lord take care of the weak and everything when they pray and they cry out unto him,
We got another comment. He said, Salaki, sir, I've been having Israelites pray against me for coming against their belief system and not believing as they do.
Hell, you know what? Yes, you can pray against them. Yeah, you can pray against them. Yes, you should pray against them. Because you in the truth, your things are sincere. What you coming with is sincere. They're not. They're praying against you. But what you will pray is that they get understanding and that they come inside the school instead of wanting some type of judgment upon them.
Right.
That's what you want to do right there with that. You want to pray that. You know what I'm saying? You want to pray a mercy prayer for them. Because if you praying for mercy for them and they're praying towards evil towards you, which one the Lord gonna hear? You know what I'm saying? You can answer that question within yourself. The Lord gonna hear you. He's not gonna hear them like that, because one of the greatest attributes of the Most High is what? His mercy. You praying for mercy for them. They praying to have you destroyed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, anything else, Cap?
That's it, and we have time.
God. Yeah, it's gonna be a part 2 to this class right here. Well, the I.S.U.P.K started out at 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, mayashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Announce holy convocation from She, remind Aki and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. With that being said, Amajim, upon Hakidam, rise and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Dash.
Kadash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Balakuka.
Balakuka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Razaka.
Atazaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Baharataza.
Baharataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim.
Thunder now.
The thunder now.
Come.
Come.
Call.
Call.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Tabawaki now.
Tabawak now.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Tabawaki now.
Tabawaki now.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Tabiyah now.
Tabiyah now.
Wanasai one.
Manasai one.
Abal.
Abal.
Hawashai now.
Hawashai now.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Right.
Ra.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Lakah.
Lakah.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Watapara.
Watapara.
Nawalayim.
Nabilayim.
Aman.
Aman.
The English. Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done
Thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily
and
bread.
forgive us our debts
Forgive us our debts
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the
For
kingdom
thine is the kingdom
and the power
and the power
and the glory
and the glory
ever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Shah.
Abukashah.
Thunder now.
The thunder now.
Ka.
Akah.
Ka.
Akah.
Larpa'ah.
Arba'ah.
Kamaka'ah.
Kamaka'ala.
Kal Marawa.
Wakal Malawah.
Ka.
Akah.
Latahar.
Latahar.
Hamatazarayim.
Amatazariah.
Ka.
Akah.
Lahaku.
Lahaku.
Amati.
Amati.
Ka.
Akah.
Arakawa.
Arakawa.
Lataba'ala.
Tama'ala.
Garshan.
Garsha.
Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Waraman.
Waraman.
In the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua,
Name
please
Yahushua.
give us the power.
Please give us the power.
Power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of
And
sickness.
all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
To cast them
In
out.
the name of Yahushua,
Name Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah
Wa
Yahweh.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Wa Maka'ala.
Wamaka'ala.
Wa Alahayim. Wa
Walahayim.
Nizaba'ah.
Atzlaba'ah.
Alawat Yahan.
Alawatiyah.
Alawat.
Alawat.
Asarayayim.
Asarayayim.
Hakatayayim.
Akazayayim.
Hakayayim.
Akayayim.
Wa Akwati.
Wa'akwati.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Wa Shim Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Water Aman.
Waraman.
In English, bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh.
and Yahushua,
And Yahushua.
and Michael,
And Michael.
and the angels,
And the angels.
Commander General Yohanna,
Commander Gen.YAHANNA.
General,
The generals.
Captain,
The captain.
Officer,
Of
Troopers,
troopers.
and the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahushua,
Name Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Yabarakah,
Barakah.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Washmarkah,
Wa'ashamarkah.
Yar,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Panyawa,
Yahweh.
Ayaka,
Ayaka.
Wayakanka,
Ayaka.
Yasha'ah,
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Panyawa,
Yahweh.
Ayaka,
Ayaka.
Wayashon,
Wa'asham.
Lakah,
Lakah.
Shalom,
Shalom.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Bashim Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Barak,
Barak.
Rapah,
Rapah.
Magun,
Magun.
Hagun,
The Thurman family.
Thurman family,
The Sutton family.
Sutton family,
The Hill family.
Hill family,
And all the destroyed of
and
Israel.
all destroyed of Israel.
Yeah.
Puckett family,
The Puckett family.
Hall family,
The Hall family.
the Hayes
The
family,
Hayes
the
family.
Hudson family,
The Hudson family.
and all destroyed of Israel.
All destroyed of Israel.
Done. Bashim Yahushua,
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Water Aman,
The water of man.
English, Yahweh,
Yahweh.
bless thee and keep thee.
Bless thee and keep thee.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Make his face shine upon thee.
Make his face shine upon
And
thee.
be gracious unto thee.
And be gracious
Yahweh.
unto thee.
Lift
Yahweh.
up his countenance upon thee.
Lift up his countenance upon thee.
And give thee peace.
And give thee peace.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
Name Yahushua.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
The names of lovers we just named.
Names of lovers we just named.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
Name Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Say evils and curses.
The evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
Princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
Israelite brothers in the school.
The Israelite brothers in the school.
The evils and curses.
Send evils and
And
curses.
punishment, destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
And death to the heathen. Oh, the slack. Destruction to the heathen.
And destruction to the heathen.
And shake loose the treasures of the rich.
And shake loose the treasures of the rich.
Of Israel.
Of
That
Israel.
refuse to give to the
That
school.
refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches
Force their riches.
to enter thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Say evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and
To
destruction.
the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
Their drug dealers.
The drug dealers.
Court system.
Court system.
Prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope.
Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia. Ku
Militia.
Klux Klan.
Ku Klux
Aryan
Klan.
Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads. Posse
Skinheads.
Comitazi.
Posse
The
Comitatus.
gay
The
movement.
gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air
Marines.
Force. Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the
And
internet.
the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit
Convict the
of
spirit
any of thy people.
of any of thy
They
people.
seek to stop
And
us
seek to stop
and
us.
bring swift destruction
And bring swift
through
destruction
all the heathen
to all the heathen.
that stand in the way
And tear it away.
or try to stop
Or
us
try to stop us.
broadcasting your words
Broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet
Let
Earth.
loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues.
cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and
through
fro
the earth
through the earth.
and consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake
Let the plague shake
the house of the thief
the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahweh shine,
Let Yahushua,
Michael,
Michael,
and Gabriel
Gabriel
come down with the flying saucers
come down with the flying
and
saucer.
punish all the heathen
Punish all the heathen
that come up against us
come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak that word.
Cause it to be known
Cause we know
by all
by all
that is the angels that have done it.
that it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at that coming.
In the name of Yahushua,
And Yahushua,
thank you always.
thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
So, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu Barak, Yahweh Shimi Yahushua Barak Yahweh, courtesy salute to the sisters, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu Barak, Yahweh Shema Al-Dab Shimi Yahushua. Yahweh, class dismissed.
Ended at a perfect time.